Scream is one of the best horror franchises of all time, and if you disagree, you're homophobic. No other series of horror movies has been so consistent in quality, and that's why these films are so hard to rank. They're all equally good, and it pretty much just comes down to personal taste when picking your favorite. Except the third movie, which is objectively the weak link of the bunch, but even that one is super fun and entertaining and like an adult version of Scooby-Doo. A sixth movie is being made as we speak, and what I've heard about it so far is quite promising. The filmmakers from the previous film are coming back, and they did a very good job, so that's nice, and they're supposedly changing things up, and that is what we need, because the series is at serious risk of becoming stale. Stick around, because I'm going to be giving my brilliant ideas for what I want to see in any upcoming films, and ways to keep it all fresh. The new film is being set in New York, which is a nice change of pace for the franchise, and apparently Neve Campbell is not returning as Sidney Prescott, which is sad for a lot of people, and I understand, but honestly, I really feel like Sidney's had enough. Her story is over, we've seen her attacked one too many times, and at this point it's just excess. Let's just let her live in peace, and to make you feel better, Courtney Cox is returning in the upcoming film in the iconic role of Gale Weathers, and I think it's her time to shine. I think she's a much more interesting, nuanced final girl anyways, and plus, my favorite character in the entire franchise is making a comeback, Hayden Panettiere as Kirby. So I'm more than satisfied and definitely can live without Sidney. Plus, I really love the new cast members like Jenna Ortega and Mason Gooding and such, so I'm good. I really hope they take advantage of the New York setting and have elaborate chase sequences in the subway station, maybe some Statue of Liberty action, or Brooklyn Bridge stuff. Give me something new and fresh, especially in the formula, because things are getting too familiar and too comfortable. We have the opening sequence, the killer reveal, and everything in between, and while they're all somewhat different in every movie, they all feel like a variation of the same thing. And I fear it's time to change it up. Keep the essence of Scream while completely twisting it on its head. One thing that needs some revision is the approach to the whole self-referential meta angle. The core aspect of Scream that made it so fresh, special, and unique when it came out was that it was a horror movie that was aware of other horror movies. It was a movie in which the characters looked to scary movies in pop culture to survive their own scary movie. Over the years, the idea of just simply referencing horror movies and tropes doesn't feel as special because it's been done so many times since then. And while the Scream movies are still sharp and find ways to update the meta aspects, there needs to be a more innovative approach for the upcoming movies. I see people getting sick of all the meta aspects of the Scream movies and suggest they just get rid of them, but that completely defeats the purpose of what the franchise is and what sets it apart from your typical whodunit slasher. It's supposed to be inventive, smart, and reconstructive. The filmmakers need to find an exciting way to keep the DNA of the franchise alive, but try to be just as groundbreaking as the original was when it came out. Scream is a celebration of the horror genre that simultaneously critiques and embraces it, so that needs to be an integral part of its DNA and plot. But being meta isn't fresh anymore if the only way you're approaching it is by referencing movies. And listen up, I have a couple ideas I love, I think they're pretty great. They may not necessarily fit for the upcoming entry that is currently in production, but for any future film in the franchise, they would be so cool. So, Radio Silence, Paramount, hire me if you wish. Okay, this first idea is a concept for an opening sequence I'd love to see. It's not necessarily completely reconstructive or innovative, but I think it's pretty fresh. So the movie opens up on a shot of Edvard Munch's painting The Scream, which the Ghostface mask is based on. We pan out and it's hanging in someone's house. This person is home alone. Let's call this person Lily. Lily is watching the Academy Awards on TV, in which the newest Stab film is nominated in all categories because it took a more prestigious, serious, highbrow, thought-provoking turn for the franchise, and focused more on the emotional drama regarding the life and death of Dewey Riley. As expected, Ghostface calls Lily and they chat about the Oscars and such, and eventually Ghostface talks about how mainstream audiences have finally embraced horror and it's no longer looked down upon as a lowbrow genre. We find out Lily is a filmmaker who was a frontrunner to be nominated for her film, but didn't get any nominations because the new Stab movie came out of nowhere, surprised everyone, and took up all the potential nominee spots. Lily is salty about this, especially because she lost out on the opportunity to direct the new Stab movie. She still finds the horror genre to be one that glorifies violence, no matter how much it tries to dress it up as something more. Ghostface says most people seem to watch horror movies to see the ugliness and brutal reality of violence, and experience the catharsis of the characters overcoming it. And he says that he, however, just likes to watch people get cut up. He tells her he wants to show everyone the true nature of these movies and says that every time the Stab movie wins an award, someone will die. This becomes true as the Stab movie does start winning awards and Lily is sent videos of her loved ones being held hostage and killed. Ghostface threatens her and says that they will all die if she calls the police. So the anticipation for each award in each category announced is super intense. He says Lily better cross her fingers that the Stab movie doesn't win Best Picture because she will be in for a real surprise if it does. The Stab movie does end up winning Best Picture and Lily is horrified of what will happen. As she sees the TV, she sees the director of the Stab movie walk on stage to accept the award, and as the director reaches for his Oscar, the presenter stabs him on stage on live TV. The audience doesn't know if it's a prank or not, but Lily knows it's real. Lily thinks the Ghostface she's on the phone with is responsible for the attack, but he assures her that he had nothing to do with it and informs her he still has a surprise for her. We suddenly hear footsteps run up the stairs from the basement and at Lily. By the way, no music is playing at this time. I think it would be really, really effective and freaky and refreshing to have an attack scene that was dementedly, disturbingly casual and wasn't assisted by a loud musical score. She gets attacked and whatever, and in the rest of the movie, the conversation would open back up to if entertainment really influences violence or if psychopaths are misinterpreting entertainment. Okay, so just in general, here are some things I would want to see in a Scream movie. I want long, elaborate, orchestrated, intense, suspenseful chase sequences. I need a full-on, multiple set-piece chase scene that even exceeds Sarah Michelle Gellar's in I Know What You Did Last Summer, because they just don't do them like that anymore. I want a killer revealed halfway through the movie, and we follow them as they try to get away with it, like Gone Girl or even Knives Out. We follow the killer's internal monologue as they base their decisions on their horror film knowledge. But there is also a main killer that's saved for the end. Now that is a new way to approach the meta, self-referential angle of this franchise, and it would be incredibly exciting. I also want to see two Ghostfaces who are not working together, and I want to see them fight to the death. In fact, I want to see a feral, brutal, three-way fight between two Ghostfaces who are not in cahoots and the final girl. And I don't want music playing throughout the majority of this sequence, I just want to observe them tearing each other apart. I want to see Ghostface in the snow, in the rain, on a frozen lake, chasing someone around an empty Costco, or an empty movie theater, in a ski lodge, through a muddy, rainy swamp. Give me interesting set pieces, give me interesting locations, because all the Scream movies seem restricted to houses, and all the movies have the same boring weather forecast, same atmosphere. Give me more interesting costume design, because while the first film has iconic, distinctive looks, the newer films don't have anything that you can turn into a Halloween costume. Let's put the characters in striking costumes that marry 90s pop flair with Y2K vibes. I also have an idea for a potential Scream holiday special that kind of takes the approach of Wes Craven's New Nightmare. The movie would take place in reality, and Neve Campbell would be playing herself. In the movie, she would be filming a holiday rom-com for Netflix, and she says she's done with the Scream films, so fans of Scream dress up as Ghostface and attack her and the filmmakers of the holiday movie she's working on. That would be a refreshing installment for sure. Anyways, I'm tired and I don't want to talk anymore, so let me know what you think, and to Radio Silence and Paramount, I got ideas, so come for me. Okay, take care, bye bye.